Hello, and welcome. Before we go any further, let me ask you something straight. When was the last time you faced a problem, and instead of feeling that familiar knot in your stomach, you actually felt a small, quiet spark of curiosity? Not stress, not overwhelm, not "I'm terrible at this," but, "Oh, interesting. Let's see what's really going on here." If that feeling is rare for you, or if it used to exist and somehow disappeared, then you're exactly where this book wants to meet you. Most of us were never really taught how to think about problems. We were taught how to avoid them, how to complain about them, how to power through them with grit and caffeine, but not how to dance with them. This audiobook is not about becoming a genius overnight. It's not about memorizing 47 mental models or turning into some cold, robotic problem-solving machine. It's about learning to see problems the way really good problem solvers do, not as enemies, not as proof that something's wrong with you, but as puzzles, opportunities, information in disguise. The people who solve things well don't always have more knowledge or more willpower than everyone else. They just have a different relationship with the problem itself. They pause before they panic. They get curious before they get frustrated. They ask better questions before they jump to solutions. And when the first answer doesn't work, they don't take it personally, they just keep adjusting. That shift, from "this is awful" to "this is interesting," is learnable. And once you learn it, problems stop feeling like attacks, and start feeling like conversations. Let's change how problems feel, one clear thought at a time. Chapter 1. Why most people solve problems the same old way. Problems are part of life. They show up every single day, sometimes small and annoying, sometimes big and overwhelming. Your phone dies right when you need directions. A project at work hits a wall. A conversation with someone close turns tense and confusing. These moments happen to all of us. The surprising thing is that most people tackle these situations using almost the exact same mental habits again and again. They grab the first idea that pops into their head. If it fails, they push harder with the same approach. When it still doesn't work, frustration builds, and they feel stuck. Does that pattern feel familiar? Our brains are wired for quick answers. Long ago, fast thinking helped our ancestors survive. See movement in the bushes? Assume danger and act immediately. That instinct kept people safe. But in today's world, those same quick reactions often trap us in average solutions for modern problems. Here are some of the most common ways people usually respond. One habit is blaming. Why does this always happen to me? It's because of my bad luck. My team dropped the ball. Blaming feels like a quick relief because it shifts responsibility away from you. But the problem itself doesn't go anywhere. It just sits there waiting. Another common approach is repetition. You keep sending the same messages that get ignored. You study the same way even when results stay flat. You try the same argument in a disagreement even though it never helps. Doing more of what already failed rarely leads to success. Then there's waiting for rescue. Things will sort themselves out. Someone else will fix this. Management will handle it. Waiting sometimes works by luck, but usually it just stretches out the discomfort. The last frequent pattern is reacting emotionally. Stress hits, and suddenly you're making fast choices. You agree to extra work when you're already overloaded. You snap at someone you care about. You spend money to feel better for a moment. Decisions made in panic almost never create lasting fixes. These habits are normal. Nearly everyone falls into them sometimes. The real issue is that they keep delivering ordinary outcomes. Average fixes. Average progress. The same level of results year after year. But you can break free from that cycle. There is a different path, one that turns everyday people into confident problem solvers. The biggest shift is surprisingly simple. Start thinking differently. People who solve problems really well don't rush to obvious answers. They stop. They examine the situation from fresh perspectives. They question assumptions everyone else accepts. They experiment with ideas that feel odd or uncomfortable at first. Look at anyone who handles tough challenges professionally: innovators, top consultants, skilled therapists, successful entrepreneurs. They share one key trait: they refuse to settle for the first or easiest explanation. They keep digging. They turn things around in their mind until something clicks. The good news is that you don't need genius-level intelligence or rare talent to do this. You just need a few practical habits and regular practice. This book will walk you through those habits one at a time. Each chapter builds on the last, adding tools you can use immediately. By the time we finish, dealing with problems will feel less stressful and more like an interesting challenge. The core idea to hold on to right now is this: most problems aren't solved by trying harder with the usual approach. They get solved by changing how you think about them. Consider a simple historical example. For ages, people tried to make ships go faster by adding more power or making hulls stronger. Bigger engines, thicker materials, more effort, more cost. Then someone asked a different question: what if the boat didn't have to push through the water at all? That question opened the door to boats that lift above the surface, like hydrofoils and modern high-speed designs. Same problem, completely different solution. Or take a more everyday situation. Imagine someone trying to eat healthier. They count calories, follow strict plans, force themselves to exercise more. Willpower runs out, and old habits return. Then they try a new question: how can I make the healthy choice the easiest one? They prep meals ahead, keep fruit visible, store treats out of sight. The environment does the heavy lifting. Change happens naturally. That's the power of different thinking. You stop battling the problem head-on. You redesign how you approach it. Most people treat problems like enemies to defeat. Skilled solvers treat them like puzzles to explore. That small attitude change opens up better ideas and keeps you calmer. When you enjoy the process, your mind works more clearly. Solutions appear faster. Stress drops. Confidence grows. So how can you start right away? First, build awareness. The next time trouble appears, catch your immediate reaction. Ask quietly, am I falling into one of my usual patterns? Simply noticing creates space. In that space, smarter options can show up. Second, allow weird ideas. Force yourself to list the most ridiculous solutions you can think of, even silly ones. Write them down without laughing them off. Breakthroughs often hide inside ideas that seem impractical at first glance. A real example: a workplace struggled with late arrivals. Standard fixes like warnings or docked pay didn't move the needle much. Someone proposed something odd: bonus pay for arriving early. It sounded counterintuitive, but they tested it. People started showing up ahead of time. The whole mood improved. Problem solved in an unexpected way. Third, slow down on purpose. Give yourself 10 quiet minutes to think freely. No judging. Just let ideas spill out. The good ones often come after the mediocre ones. Fourth, borrow fresh eyes. Talk to someone completely outside the situation: a friend in a different field, a family member of another generation, even a stranger. People not close to the problem often spot what you've missed. These tiny shifts train your brain over time. They turn different thinking into your natural response. Every expert starts as a beginner. Every clever solution begins as an odd thought. The gap between you and the pros is simply consistent practice. In the chapters ahead, we'll dive into specific techniques. We'll practice reframing, asking powerful questions, combining ideas creatively, and more. You'll see how these tools apply to real-life situations, from work challenges to personal goals to everyday frustrations. Chapter 2: The Magic of Asking Better Questions. Problems feel heavy when they sit in your mind without movement. The fastest way to make them lighter is to change the question you're asking about them. Most of us start with the same tired questions: why is this happening to me? How do I fix this right now? Who's to blame? Those questions keep us circling the same old thoughts. They rarely lead anywhere new. Better questions act like keys. They unlock doors you didn't even know were there. They pull your mind out of the rut and point it toward fresh possibilities. The moment you ask a stronger question, the problem starts to look different. Sometimes it even starts to solve itself. Think about the last time you felt truly stuck. Maybe it was a work deadline you couldn't meet, a relationship argument that kept repeating, or a goal you wanted but couldn't reach. What question were you quietly asking yourself? Probably something like, why can't I get this done? Or why does this person never understand me? Those questions focus on the block. They gather evidence for why things are impossible. Now imagine replacing them with these instead. What would this situation look like if it were already solved? What small change could make the biggest difference here? If I had to teach someone else how to handle this, what would I tell them? What am I assuming is true that might not be? See the shift? The new questions move your attention from the problem to the outcome, from blame to action, from limits to possibilities. Your brain loves answering questions. Give it a poor one and it delivers poor answers. Give it a powerful one and it starts searching for powerful answers. Let's look at why this works so well. First, questions direct focus. Whatever you ask about, your mind zooms in on that part of reality. Ask what's wrong, and you'll spot every flaw. Ask what's already working, and you'll notice strengths you can build on. The same situation can feel hopeless or full of opportunity depending on the lens you choose. Second, good questions break assumptions. We carry invisible rules in our heads. I have to do this alone. This has to be expensive. People like that never change. When you question those rules, cracks appear. Light gets in. New paths show up. Third, better questions create momentum. A weak question keeps you thinking. A strong one pushes you toward doing. It turns endless worry into the first small step. Here are some of the most useful question patterns you can start using today. Try them the next time trouble shows up. The outcome question instead of how do I stop this from being so bad? Ask, what would success look like here? If this were easy, what would I be doing differently? Paint a clear picture of the win first. Then work backward to find the steps. The assumption buster question, what am I taking for granted that might not be true? What if the opposite were true? What rule am I following that no one actually wrote down? These questions shake loose hidden beliefs that keep you stuck. The perspective shift question, how would a 5-year-old see this? What would my future self, 10 years from now, advise me to do? If my best friend was in this situation, what would I tell them? Borrowing someone else's viewpoint often reveals blind spots. The constraint removal question, if money, time, energy weren't an issue, what would I try? If I could wave a magic wand and change one thing, what would it be? Remove imaginary limits first. Real limits are easier to handle once the mind is free. The tiny step question, what's the smallest action I can take in the next 10 minutes? What one thing could I experiment with this week? Big problems shrink when you break them into micro-moves. Real-life examples make this clearer. A manager kept losing team members to burnout. Her usual question was, why can't they handle the workload? That led to more pressure, more frustration. She switched to, what would make people excited to come to work every day? Answers appeared. Flexible hours, clearer goals, recognition for good work. Retention improved quickly. Someone trying to save money asked, why do I keep spending? Over and over. No progress. Then they asked, what would make saving feel more rewarding than spending? They set up automatic transfers to a fun goal account, a trip, new gear. Spending dropped because saving became exciting. A student struggling with procrastination asked, why am I so lazy? That just made them feel worse. Better question, what would make starting this task feel almost effortless? Answer, work in 5-minute bursts with music they loved. Momentum built from there. You can see the pattern. The question changes, the feeling changes, the action changes, the result changes. How do you get better at asking these questions? Start small and practice daily. Keep a short list of your favorite powerful questions in your phone notes. When a problem hits, pause for 10 seconds. Ask yourself, is this the best question I could be asking right now? Write down 3 different ways to ask about the same issue. Pick the one that feels most energizing. At the end of each day, reflect, what good question did I ask today that moved me forward? The more you do this, the more natural it becomes. Your brain rewires itself to reach for better questions automatically. Problems that once felt like walls start feeling like invitations to play detective. This habit alone can double the speed at which you find solutions. It costs nothing. It takes almost no extra time. Yet it changes everything. In the next chapters, we'll build on this foundation. We'll learn how to turn problems upside down, how to generate dozens of ideas quickly, and how to pick the best ones without second-guessing yourself. But none of those tools work as well without strong questions leading the way. Chapter 3. Reframing. How to flip problems into opportunities. Problems usually arrive wrapped in negative feelings. They feel like threats, burdens, or signs that something is broken. That emotional wrapper makes it hard to see clearly. Reframing is the simple act of unwrapping the problem and looking at it from a different angle. The facts stay the same, but the meaning changes. When the meaning changes, the emotions soften and new possibilities appear. Reframing is not about pretending everything is fine. It is about refusing to let the first automatic story you tell yourself become the only story. Most people accept the default frame without questioning it. Skilled problem solvers treat that default frame as just one option among many. Here is how the process usually begins. A challenge shows up and your mind instantly labels it. This is a disaster. I'm failing again. This person is impossible. Everything always goes wrong for me. Those labels feel true in the moment because they match the rush of frustration or fear. But they are interpretations, not facts. Reframing means gently setting those first interpretations aside and trying on new ones until one fits better and opens a path forward. Why does reframing work so powerfully? First, it reduces emotional heat. When you see a situation as a personal attack or a permanent flaw, stress spikes and clear thinking drops. A neutral or even positive frame lowers the temperature so your brain can work again. Second, it widens your view. A narrow frame hides options. A wider one reveals them. The same event can look like an ending in one frame and a beginning in another. Third, it turns energy from complaint to creation. Complaining keeps you focused on what is wrong. Reframing shifts focus to what you can do with what is wrong. Let us walk through some practical ways to reframe. From obstacle to opportunity. Default frame. This is blocking my way. Reframe. This is showing me a new way. Example. Your flight gets cancelled. Default. My whole trip is ruined. Reframe. Now I have extra time in this city. What interesting thing can I do here? Many people have discovered great restaurants, met helpful strangers, or even landed unexpected business because of a ruined plan. From failure to feedback. Default frame. I messed up. I'm not good enough. Reframe. This didn't work. What did it teach me? Every top performer treats setbacks as data. A rejected proposal is not proof you are bad at your job. It is information about what the client values, how to pitch better next time, or where your offer needs adjustment. From threat to challenge. Default frame. This is too hard. I might not survive it. Reframe. This is difficult, and that's exactly why it will make me stronger. Athletes use this frame all the time. A tough workout is not punishment. It is training that builds capacity. The same mindset turns a demanding project or tough conversation into growth fuel instead of dread. From personal attack to neutral event. Default frame. They did this to hurt me. Reframe. This happened. What might their reasons be? A colleague snaps at you. Instead of they hate me, try they might be stressed about their own deadline. Understanding their side does not excuse bad behavior, but it stops you from taking it personally and frees up energy to respond calmly. From scarcity to abundance. Default frame. I don't have enough time, money, support. Reframe. What do I already have that I can use creatively? Limited budget forces smarter choices. Limited time forces sharper focus. Many breakthroughs come from constraints, not endless resources. How do you actually do this in real time? Step 1. Catch the default frame. When a problem hits, notice the story your mind is telling. Say it out loud or write it down. This is a complete disaster because. Step 2. Ask reframing starter questions. What else could this mean? How might this be helpful in the long run? If this happened to someone I admire, how would they describe it? What would I tell a friend in the same spot? What is one thing this situation is forcing me to learn? Step 3. Try on at least 3 new frames. Force yourself to come up with alternatives, even if they feel forced at first. One of them usually clicks and feels lighter. Step 4. Test the new frame. Does it reduce tension? Does it suggest an action you want to take? If yes, run with it. If not, try another. Real examples show how fast this can shift things. A small business owner lost their biggest client. Default frame, we are going under. They reframe to, this client represented 40% of revenue. Now we have space to find better fitting clients who value what we do. They used the freed up time to improve their offer and target a niche they loved. Within months, revenue passed the old level with happier customers. A parent felt overwhelmed by a child's constant tantrums. Default, my child is impossible. Reframe, this behavior is communication. My child is showing me they need something they can't say yet. That shift led to observing patterns, trying new routines, and discovering the child was overstimulated by noise. Simple changes turned chaos into calmer days. A job seeker kept getting rejections. Default, no one wants me. Reframe, each no is proof I'm in the game and getting closer. They started treating applications like experiments, tweaking resumes, practicing interviews, asking for feedback. The mindset kept them persistent until the right offer came. Reframing is a skill that gets stronger with use. At first it might feel artificial, like you're lying to yourself. Over time it becomes natural. You catch negative frames faster. You flip them quicker. Problems lose their power to derail you. The best part? You do not need to wait for big crises. Practice on small annoyances. Traffic jam? Reframe. Free audiobook time. Rainy day? Reframe. Perfect excuse for cozy indoor projects. Tiny daily wins build the muscle so it is ready when bigger challenges arrive. Keep this close. The situation is neutral. The frame you choose decides whether it drains you or fuels you. In the chapters ahead we will add more tools, ways to spark lots of ideas quickly, ways to blend them into something fresh, and ways to decide without endless doubt. But reframing is the foundation. It clears the emotional fog so all the other techniques can shine. For now, pick one current frustration. Write down the default frame. Then list 3 possible new ones. Choose the one that gives you the most energy or curiosity. Step into it, even just for today, and notice what changes. Chapter 4. Brainstorming without limits. Generate more ideas than you need. Once you have reframed a problem and asked sharper questions, the next natural step is to flood your mind with possible answers. Most people stop at the first decent idea that appears. They grab it, run with it, and hope it works. Sometimes it does. More often, it is just okay. The real difference between average solutions and exceptional ones is quantity first, then quality. Brainstorming without limits means deliberately producing far more ideas than you think you need, usually 10 times more than feels comfortable. The goal is not to find the perfect idea right away. The goal is to fill a big bucket with possibilities so you have plenty to choose from, combine, and improve later. Why does generating lots of ideas matter so much? Your first ideas are almost always the most obvious ones. They come from memory, habit, and what everyone else already does. They are safe, familiar, and usually mediocre. The truly useful ideas, the ones that surprise you and actually move the needle, hide deeper in the list. They show up after idea number 7, 12, or even 25, when your brain has run out of easy answers and starts reaching for stranger, fresher connections. Quantity creates safety. When you know you are allowed to write down silly, wild, or impossible ideas, fear of judgment disappears. You stop censoring yourself. Playful thoughts slip out. And playful thoughts are often where breakthroughs live. Here is the basic mindset shift. Treat idea generation like digging for gold. You do not stop after the first shiny rock. You keep digging because the best nuggets are usually buried farther down. How do you actually do this without getting stuck or overwhelmed? Follow these simple rules for effective, no-limits brainstorming. Defer judgment completely for the first phase. Nothing is stupid, expensive, unrealistic, or rude. Write it anyway. The inner critic gets locked out until later. If a voice says, "That's ridiculous," answer with "Great," write it down and keep going. Aim for quantity over quality. Set a target. 30 ideas, 50, or even 100 if the problem is big. Use a timer, 10 to 20 minutes, and keep the pen moving, or fingers typing, the whole time. Speed matters more than polish. Go for volume, not depth. Short phrases are fine. One word is fine. Robot assistant, reverse the process, give it away free, do it at midnight. No need for full sentences yet. Build on previous ideas. If one idea sparks another, chase it. What if we made it smaller? Leads to what if we made it tiny enough to fit in a pocket? Leads to what if it was wearable? Let one thought pull the next. Use prompts to keep the flow going when you stall. Pull from these quick starters. What would make this 10 times worse? Then flip it. What would a child suggest? What would happen in the opposite industry? How would nature solve this? What if we removed the most expensive part? What if we added something completely unrelated? Real-world examples show how this plays out. A restaurant struggled with slow table turnover during peak hours. Standard ideas: hire more staff, rush customers, smaller portions. They pushed for quantity and got to wild ones like serve food on roller skates, have standing-only tables, turn it into a game where faster eaters win prizes, offer a discount for eating in under 20 minutes. One odd idea stuck: create a speed menu with quick prep items priced lower and clearly labeled ready in 10 minutes or it's free. It attracted busy lunch crowds, sped up tables, and became a signature feature. A software team building a productivity app kept hearing, "It's too complicated." They brainstormed fixes without limits. Gamify it, simplify to one button, make it voice-only, turn it into a comic strip, remove all features except reminders, add AI that predicts what you need. The winning combination came from blending two wild ones, voice commands plus predictive nudges, which made the app feel effortless and unique. A person trying to exercise regularly failed with plans like gym memberships and early alarms. They brainstormed 50 reasons people skip workouts, then flipped them. Too tired became workout energizes me first thing. No time became 5-minute microsessions anywhere. Boring became pair it with favorite podcast. The breakthrough: a soundtrack workout where each song triggered a different move. Fun replaced force, and consistency arrived. You can see the pattern. The magic rarely hides in the first 5 ideas. It emerges when you push past the obvious and into the absurd, then pull back the useful pieces. Practical ways to make this habit easy. Use a dedicated notebook, phone note, or voice memo just for raw ideas. Label it No Rules Zone. Set a low-pressure goal. 10 ideas minimum every time you brainstorm. Do it in short bursts. 10 minutes feels doable. Brainstorm with someone else if possible. One person's crazy idea sparks another's practical twist. After the timer ends, circle the 3 to 5 that feel most interesting or surprising. Those are your seeds for the next phase. Do not worry if most ideas feel useless. That is the point. You need the useless ones to reach the good ones. A painter does not create a masterpiece with the first stroke. They fill the canvas with rough layers first. One last tip: celebrate the volume itself. When you hit your target number, even if every idea seems terrible, give yourself credit. You just trained your brain to keep producing instead of quitting early. That skill alone separates consistent solvers from people who give up when the first plan fails. In the chapters coming up, we will take all those raw ideas and turn them into something stronger. We will explore how to mash seemingly unrelated concepts together, how to test the best ones quickly without wasting time, and how to build confidence in your choices. But none of that works well without a big pile of options first. So next time a problem appears, do not hunt for the answer. Hunt for 30 answers. Write them fast, write them messy, write them all. Somewhere in that list, the right path is waiting. Chapter 5. The Power of Combining Ideas, where breakthroughs really happen. You now have a big list of ideas from brainstorming. Some look promising right away. Others seem strange, partial, or even silly. The real magic rarely comes from picking one perfect idea and running with it. It comes from taking two or more of those ideas and smashing them together in unexpected ways. When you combine concepts that don't normally belong in the same sentence, something new and powerful often appears. This is how most breakthroughs happen. Not from inventing something from nothing, but from remixing existing pieces into fresh arrangements. The smartphone wasn't created by inventing touchscreens, cameras, GPS, and internet browsers all at once. It came from putting those already existing technologies into one pocket-sized device and asking, what if they all work together? Combining ideas is the bridge between quantity and quality. You generate lots of raw material first. Then you play matchmaker with the pieces. The combinations that feel odd at first are usually the ones worth exploring deepest. Why does this method create such strong results? First, your brain is already great at making connections. It does this automatically when you dream or when a random memory pops up. Combining on purpose just gives that natural talent a clear job to do. Second, unrelated ideas force your mind to stretch. When two familiar things collide in an unfamiliar way, you have to think harder. That extra effort often uncovers angles no single idea could reveal. Third, combinations reduce risk. You are not betting everything on one wild concept. You are borrowing strength from multiple sources. If one part fails, another can carry the load. Here are practical ways to start combining ideas effectively. Pick random pairs. Take your brainstorm list and randomly select two ideas. Use a number generator or close your eyes and point. Force yourself to make them work together. Ask, how could these two things team up? Even if the first answer feels forced, keep going. The awkward mashups often lead to the best surprises. Use what if we combined X with Y. Fill in the blanks deliberately. Try these starters. What if we combined this with something from nature? What if we combined it with a toy or game? What if we combined it with the opposite industry? What if we combined it with a childhood memory? What if we combined it with technology from 10 years in the future? Layer in opposites. Take an idea and pair it with its direct opposite. Fast with slow. Big with tiny. Expensive with free. Serious with playful. The tension between opposites creates energy. That energy often sparks innovation. Borrow from analogies. Ask, this problem is like what? Then combine your solution ideas with elements from that analogy. A traffic jam is like a blocked artery. Combine heart health ideas, better flow, prevention, with road ideas, diversion routes, timing signals. Build idea chain. Start with one idea. Add a second that improves it. Add a third that makes the combination even stronger. Keep chaining until it feels exciting or at least intriguing. Real examples make the power clear. A coffee shop wanted more morning customers, but space was limited. Brainstorm ideas included longer hours, loyalty cards, live music, free Wi-Fi, breakfast bundles. One person combined free Wi-Fi with live music in an odd way. What if we turned the shop into a mini co-working space with scheduled quiet hours and focused work playlists? They tested focus mornings, low-volume instrumental music, reserved quiet tables, and a small productivity fee that included bottomless filter coffee. Remote workers loved it. Revenue jumped on slow mornings. A team designing eco-friendly packaging struggled with cost. Ideas: use recycled paper, plant-based plastics, minimal design. Someone paired plant-based with edible. They explored edible wrappers made from rice paper flavored like the product inside, sweet for candy, savory for snacks. The wrapper became part of the experience. Waste dropped to zero. Customers talked about it online. Sales grew through word of mouth. A person trying to stay hydrated kept forgetting to drink water. Ideas: reminders, fancy bottle, flavor drops. Combining reminders with game created a simple app that turned daily water intake into leveling up a virtual plant. Each glass made the plant grow. Boring hydration became a tiny daily adventure. Consistency soared without willpower battles. You can feel the difference. Single ideas often feel flat. Combinations add layers, surprise, and stickiness. How to make combining a habit. After every brainstorming session, set aside 5 minutes just for pairing. Pick at least 5 random couples from your list. Keep a combination jar. Write single ideas on slips of paper. Pull 2 at random when you need inspiration. When you see something clever in the world, an ad, a product, a routine, ask, what if I took the core idea from that and combined it with my current challenge? Share combinations with a friend. Explaining the mashup out loud often makes it clearer or reveals an even better twist. Do not worry if most combinations flop. That is normal. You are mining for diamonds. You sift through a lot of gravel first. Celebrate the ones that spark even a tiny that's interesting. Those are the keepers. One quick warning: avoid forcing combinations that feel completely disconnected at first. Give them a fair chance, but if nothing clicks after a minute or 2, move on. The best mashups usually have some hidden logic that reveals itself quickly. This step turns your big pile of ideas from a messy list into a collection of potential prototypes. You start seeing patterns. You notice themes. You feel momentum building. In the chapters ahead, we will learn how to take these combined ideas and test them in the real world without spending weeks or months. We will cover fast, cheap ways to experiment, how to learn from small failures, and how to narrow down to the strongest option without second-guessing forever. But those steps work best when you have interesting combinations to test. So right now, grab your brainstorm list from the last problem you worked on. Pick 3 random ideas. Force them into pairs or trios. Write down what happens when they meet. Even if the result feels weird, sit with it for 30 seconds. Notice any new thoughts that appear. Chapter 6. Testing ideas fast. How to fail quickly and learn even faster. You have reframed the problem, asked powerful questions, brainstormed a pile of ideas, and combined some of them into promising concepts. Now comes the moment most people avoid: actually trying them in the real world. The temptation is to keep planning, perfecting, and predicting every possible outcome. But the longer an idea stays only in your head, the less you really know about it. Testing fast flips that script. Instead of asking, will this work perfectly? You ask, what's the smallest, quickest way to learn if this could work at all? The goal is not to prove you are right on the first try. The goal is to gather real information as cheaply and rapidly as possible. Every quick test, whether it succeeds or crashes, teaches you something valuable and moves you closer to a solution that actually fits. Why is failing fast so much better than failing slowly? First, speed compounds learning. A small failure today tells you more than a big failure next month. You can adjust, try again, and keep moving while the problem is still fresh. Second, small tests lower the emotional cost. When you risk only a few minutes or a tiny amount of money, a flop stings far less. You stay curious instead of defensive. Third, real-world feedback beats imagination every time. Your brain can invent flawless arguments for why an idea should work. Reality has a way of cutting through those stories in seconds. The key principle is this: Build the smallest version of your idea that lets you learn the most important thing. This is often called a minimum viable test or just a quick experiment. Here is how to do it step by step. Pick the riskiest assumption. Every combined idea rests on one or two big guesses. Identify the riskiest one, the part that, if wrong, kills the whole concept. Test that first. Example: you think people will pay extra for a focus morning at a coffee shop. The riskiest assumption is not the music or the tables. It's people will actually pay a small fee for quiet reserved space. Test that assumption before you invest in playlists or signage. Make it tiny. Shrink the test to the smallest possible scale. Instead of a full product launch, make one prototype by hand. Instead of changing your whole routine, try the new habit for one day. Instead of asking the whole team, ask 3 people. Tiny tests take almost no time and almost no resources. Define success and failure clearly upfront before you start. Decide what you will learn. Write it down. If 5 out of 10 people say yes to the trial, we keep exploring. If nobody finishes the 5-minute version, the core idea needs rethinking. Clear success measures stop you from moving the goalposts after the fact. Run the test quickly. Set a deadline. Today, tomorrow, this weekend at the latest. Momentum matters. Delayed tests lose energy and let doubt creep back in. Collect honest feedback. Watch what people actually do, not just what they say. Ask open questions. What was annoying? What would make you use this more? Listen without defending. Learn and decide next. After the test, ask 3 questions. What surprised me? What still feels promising? What needs to change before the next test? Then either kill the idea, pivot it, or scale the test a little bigger. Real examples show how powerful this loop can be. A freelance designer wanted to sell pre-made website templates. Instead of building 10 full sites, they created one simple landing page with fake buy now buttons and a waitlist form. In 3 days, 20 people signed up. That tiny test proved demand without months of coding. They built only the most requested template first. Someone trying to improve family dinners felt everyone was glued to phones. Big plan: phone-free nights forever. Quick test: 1 meal with a phone jail basket on the table and a fun conversation card game. The kids actually enjoyed it more than expected. One small success led to making it a twice-weekly habit. A startup thought their app's new feature would boost user time spent. Riskiest assumption: users would find and use the feature without heavy explanation. They released it to 1% of users with no announcement. Usage data came back in 48 hours. Almost nobody touched it. They learned the feature was invisible, not useless. A simple redesign and tooltip fixed it fast. You can apply this to almost anything. New diet? Test one new breakfast for 3 days instead of overhauling every meal. Tough conversation? Test the opening line with a trusted friend first. Side project? Share a rough sketch or one-page summary before building anything big. Quick tips to make testing feel easier. Start with what can I learn in under an hour? Use what you already have, friends, free tools, your current setup. Treat every outcome as useful data, not a personal verdict. Keep a simple log: idea, assumption, test, result, next step. Reviewing it builds confidence fast. The beauty of fast testing is that it turns uncertainty into curiosity. You stop fearing mistakes because mistakes become teachers. You move through options at a speed most people never reach. And the more you test, the sharper your instincts get for what will actually work. In the chapters ahead, we will look at how to narrow down your strongest options without getting paralyzed by choice. We will explore ways to turn tested ideas into lasting action, how to handle setbacks without losing momentum, and how to keep sharpening your problem-solving skills over time. But those steps only shine when you have real data from real tests guiding you. So pick one combined idea you like right now. Ask, what's the riskiest assumption here? Then design the smallest, fastest way to poke at that assumption. Do it soon, today if you can. Whatever happens, you will know more tomorrow than you know right now. Chapter 7. Choosing Wisely. How to pick the best solution without endless doubt. You have tested a few promising combinations. Some worked better than expected. Others flopped in small but clear ways. Now you face the classic moment of decision. Which one do you actually move forward with? Too many good options can feel almost as paralyzing as having none. You start overthinking, second-guessing, comparing endlessly. Doubt creeps in and stalls everything. The good news is that choosing does not have to be a long, painful debate. There are simple, repeatable ways to narrow down without losing sleep or momentum. The aim is not to find the single flawless solution, because that almost never exists. The aim is to pick the strongest available option right now, one you can act on confidently and adjust later if needed. Here is why most people get stuck at this stage. They wait for perfect certainty. They want 100% proof the choice will succeed before committing. Reality rarely gives that. They compare every detail side by side forever. They fear regret more than inaction. Or they let emotions drive the pick instead of clear criteria. Skilled problem solvers flip this. They accept that every choice carries some uncertainty. They use lightweight rules to decide fast, then trust the process enough to move. They know the fastest way to improve a decision is often to make it, test it bigger, and refine it with real results. Here are practical steps to choose wisely and quickly. List your must-haves and nice-to-haves before comparing options. Decide what really matters for this problem. Write 3 to 5 non-negotiable criteria, must-haves. Then add a few desirable but flexible ones, nice-to-haves. Example: for a new daily routine to reduce stress, must-haves might be: takes less than 30 minutes, can do at home, feels enjoyable most days. Nice-to-haves: costs nothing, includes movement, tracks progress easily. This list becomes your filter. Anything that fails a must-have is out immediately. Score each option quickly. Give every surviving idea a score from 1 to 10 on each must-have and nice-to-have. Be honest but fast. Gut feel is fine here. Total the scores if you want, or just look for clear winners. The highest scorer often stands out right away. If there is a tie between two strong ones, that is a good problem. It means both are worth testing further. Use the 1-week test question. Ask yourself, if I had to live with only one of these options for the next 7 days, which one would I pick without hesitation? This forces you to imagine real commitment instead of theoretical perfection. The answer usually feels surprisingly clear. Apply the regret-minimizing filter. Picture yourself 6 months from now looking back. Ask, which choice would I regret not trying the most? Which one, even if it fails, would teach me something valuable? The option with the lowest future regret often deserves priority. Run a quick pros-cons plus insights for the top 2 or 3 contenders. Jot: pros, what excites you; cons, real risks or downsides; insights, what the small tests already showed. Look beyond the lists. Which one has the most exciting pros and the most fixable cons? Which one aligns best with what you learned in testing? Set a decision deadline. Give yourself a hard cutoff. End of day, end of weekend. Whatever feels realistic but firm. Parkinson's law applies here. Decisions expand to fill the time you give them. A short deadline sharpens focus and kills endless looping. Real examples show how these steps cut through doubt. A small online store owner had 3 marketing ideas after testing: paid ads, email newsletter series, short video content on social media. All showed some promise in quick tests. Must-haves: low cost to start, quick to set up, measurable results in under a month. Quick scoring showed video content 1 on speed and cost, ads 1 on potential reach but lost on setup time, email 1 on control but felt slower to build audience. The 1-week test question pointed to videos. I could shoot and post daily for a week and see real engagement numbers. Regret filter agreed. Not trying the videos felt worse than not trying polished ads yet. Decision made in 1 focused hour. Someone choosing between 2 job offers felt torn. One paid more but had longer hours. The other offered better growth but lower salary. Must-haves: work-life balance, no more than 45 hours. Learning opportunities, commute under 45 minutes. Both met those. Scoring showed the growth job slightly ahead on long-term excitement. The regret question sealed it. In a year, I'd regret more passing up the chance to learn new skills than accepting a bit less money now. Choice clear. A team picking software for project management narrowed to 3 tools after small team trials. They used must-haves: easy mobile access, integrates with current calendar, under $15 user month. 2 tied. The regret filter asked, which one would we kick ourselves for not choosing if it turns out great? The newest tool felt riskier but had the most wow feedback from testers. They picked it with a plan to review in 30 days. No endless debate. These methods work because they are simple, force clarity, and respect that no choice is forever. You can always pivot later with new information. Quick habits to make choosing easier over time. Keep a short decision template note on your phone with your favorite questions and scoring grid. Practice on tiny decisions first, lunch spot, evening activity, to build speed. After deciding, write one sentence. I chose this because reviewing these later sharpens your judgment. The moment you pick, energy shifts. Doubt fades. Action begins. Even if the choice needs tweaking, you learn faster by moving than by staying stuck. In the chapters ahead, we will talk about turning that chosen solution into real, lasting change. We will cover how to build momentum, handle the inevitable bumps, and keep improving your overall problem-solving game so future challenges feel easier each time. For now, take your top tested ideas. Grab a piece of paper or your notes app. List your must-haves. Score them quickly. Ask the 1 week and regret questions. Set a timer for 20 minutes if it helps. Pick one. Feel the relief of deciding. Chapter 8. Turning plans into action. Making solutions stick in real life. You have chosen a solution that feels solid. The small tests gave green lights. The criteria lined up. Doubt has quieted down. Now the real work begins, moving from this could work to this is working. Most good ideas die not because they were wrong, but because they never made it out of the planning stage. Turning a plan into action, and keeping it going long enough to become a habit, is where the difference happens. The gap between knowing what to do and actually doing it comes down to a few simple truths. Your brain prefers the familiar path, even if the familiar path leads to the same old results. New solutions feel like extra effort at first. Friction shows up in tiny ways. I'll start tomorrow. I need to prepare more. What if it doesn't last? The trick is to make starting easy, make continuing rewarding, and make quitting hard. Here is how to bridge that gap and turn chosen solutions into real-life changes that last. Shrink the first action to almost nothing. Big plans scare the brain into delay. Make the very first step so small it feels ridiculous to skip. Want to build a new morning routine? Do not plan a full hour of journaling, exercise, and meditation. Start with put on workout clothes within 5 minutes of waking. That one micro-action often pulls the rest along. Launching a side project? Do not aim to finish the website. Start with open a blank document and write the title. Tiny wins create momentum faster than grand intentions. Use if-then triggers. Link the new action to something you already do automatically. These are called implementation intentions. Examples: if I finish breakfast, then I spend 2 minutes planning my top priority. If I sit at my desk to work, then I open the new tool first. If it's 8 p.m., then I put my phone in another room for 30 minutes. The if part is the cue. The then part is the action. Triggers remove decision fatigue because the choice is pre-made. Stack the new habit onto an existing one. Habit stacking is like implementation intentions, but even simpler. Attach the new behavior right after a strong daily anchor. After brushing teeth, do 1 minute of stretching. After closing laptop at end of workday, write 3 things you're grateful for. After pouring evening tea, review tomorrow's schedule. The existing habit becomes the signal. The new one rides along with almost no extra willpower. Make it visible and rewarding. Out of sight usually means out of mind. Put reminders where you cannot ignore them. Sticky note on mirror for a mindset shift. Phone wallpaper with your key goal phrase. App icon move to home screen. Then add instant rewards. Finished the tiny action? Say nice job out loud. Do a small fist pump. Play a favorite song snippet. Small dopamine hits make the brain want to repeat. Track simply and celebrate streaks. Use a basic tracker, calendar, note app, or wall chart. Mark each day you complete the action with an X or emoji. The visual chain is motivating. Do not aim for perfection. Aim for don't break the chain too often. Missing one day is fine. Missing 2 in a row is the danger zone. When you hit a streak of 5 or 10, celebrate, coffee treat, favorite movie, tell a friend. Recognition keeps motivation alive. Design the environment to help make the good choice easy and the old choice hard. Want to read more instead of scrolling? Put the book on your pillow and move the charger out of the bedroom. Want to eat healthier? Keep fruit on the counter and hide snacks in a high cabinet. Environment beats willpower every time. Plan for slip-ups ahead of time. Decide in advance what you will do when life gets busy or motivation dips. Have a minimum viable version ready. Instead of full workout, do 10 push-ups. Instead of cooking a healthy meal, grab a prepped salad. When the slip happens, use the phrase progress, not perfection. Restart immediately, no guilt lectures. The quicker you get back on track, the less damage done. Real examples show how these pieces fit together. A busy parent wanted family connection time, but evenings were chaotic. Chosen solution: 20-minute device-free dinners with one shared question. First action shrank to set a timer for 20 minutes at dinner start. Trigger: if the food is served, then timer goes on. Reward: everyone gets a fun fact card to read aloud. Environment: phones in a basket by the door. Minimum version on busy nights. 5-minute chat while eating dessert. Within 2 weeks it became the favorite part of the day. A professional aiming to network more chose send one thoughtful message per week. Tiny first step: open contacts app and pick one name. Trigger: after Friday wrap-up email. Reward: checkmark and quick note of what was sent. Tracker: simple list in Notes app. When a week got missed, minimum version became like and comment on one LinkedIn post. Consistency built slowly but steadily. New conversations and opportunities followed. A student struggling with focus picked a Pomodoro-style system after testing. First action: set timer for 25 minutes once per study session. Trigger: sit at desk. Environment: noise-canceling headphones ready. Reward: 5-minute walk or favorite snack. On low-energy days, minimum became just open the book for 5 minutes. Grades improved without burnout. These small, deliberate moves turn abstract plans into automatic behavior. Over time, what once required effort starts to feel normal. The solution sticks because it fits your life instead of fighting it. Quick checklist to use right now. What is the tiniest first step I can take today? What existing habit can I stack this onto? Where can I put a visual reminder? What small reward will follow completion? What is my minimum version for tough days? In the chapters ahead we will talk about staying steady when setbacks arrive, how to bounce back without losing ground, and how to weave these problem-solving skills into your everyday thinking so they become second nature. For now, take your chosen solution. Pick one tiny action. Tie it to a trigger. Do it today, even if it feels too small to count. It counts. Every single time. Chapter 9. Handling setbacks. Staying calm when things don't go as planned. Even the best plans hit rough patches. You pick a solid solution, shrink the first step, stack it onto a daily habit, and things start moving. Then something shifts. A day gets too busy. Motivation dips. Results come slower than expected. People push back. The new routine feels clunky instead of smooth. Setbacks arrive, and they always will. The difference between people who solve problems consistently and those who give up lies here, in how they respond when the path curves. Most treat setbacks like proof the whole idea was bad. They feel discouraged, blame themselves or the situation, and quietly drop the effort. Skilled solvers see setbacks differently. They treat them as normal data points, not personal failures. They stay calm, learn quickly, and keep moving forward. Staying calm is the superpower in these moments. When emotions run high, frustration, embarrassment, doubt, clear thinking shuts down. You make rash choices like quitting too soon or forcing a fix that creates bigger problems. The calmer you stay, the faster you recover. Here are practical ways to handle setbacks without losing your footing. Name it without drama the instant things go off track. Say to yourself, "All right, this is a setback. It's normal. It doesn't mean the idea is broken." Naming it takes away some of its power. You stop the spiral of everything is ruined and replace it with a neutral observation. Neutral is calmer than catastrophic. Pause before reacting. Give yourself a short cooling off period. 5 minutes, an hour, overnight if it's emotional. During the pause, do something physical. Walk, stretch, drink water, breathe slowly. Movement and breath pull your nervous system out of fight or flight so you can think again. Ask 3 gentle questions once calmer. Run through these. What exactly went wrong? Get specific. Avoid vague, "It didn't work." What can I learn from this? Even small insights count. What is one tiny adjustment I can make next time? These questions turn a setback from a dead end into useful information. Return to your minimum viable version when the full plan feels impossible. Drop back to the smallest version you designed earlier. Missed 3 workouts? Do 5 push-ups today instead of 0. Skipped the daily message? Send 1 quick note this week. The minimum keeps the streak alive and reminds your brain the habit still exists. Protect your identity. Do not say "I'm a failure" or "I can't stick to anything." Instead say "I'm someone who keeps going even after a miss." Small language shifts protect your self-view. You are not the setback, you are the person who responds to it. Look for hidden wins. Even in a flop, something usually went right. You started. You tried a new approach. You learned what does not fit your life. List those quiet positives. They balance the disappointment and keep perspective intact. Reset the chain without guilt. If you use a tracker, put a different mark for off days, maybe a circle instead of an X. The chain continues, just in a different color. No all or nothing thinking. One off day does not erase progress. It is just a detour. Real examples show how this mindset plays out. A writer set a goal of 500 words daily, but missed 4 days in a row because of family demands. Default reaction: "I'm never going to finish this book." Instead they named it, "This is a normal life interruption," paused with a short walk, then asked the questions. Learned: evenings were too unpredictable. Adjustment: switch to 20 minutes right after morning coffee. Minimum version: 100 words if the day exploded. They restarted the next morning without self-criticism. The book kept moving. Someone trying a new sales approach got polite rejections for a week straight. Discouragement hit hard. They paused, named the feeling, "This feels discouraging, and that's okay." Listed what went well, better conversations than cold emails, and adjusted, added 1 personal question per pitch. Rejections continued, but responses warmed. 1 small win turned into a signed client 2 weeks later. A parent aiming for calmer mornings kept snapping at the kids despite the new routine. Setback felt personal. They used the 3 questions. Specific issue was rushing transitions. Learned: needed earlier prep the night before. Tiny adjustment: lay out clothes and lunch boxes before bed. Mornings smoothed out gradually. No overnight miracle, just steady improvement. These responses share a pattern: acknowledge without over-dramatizing, learn without self-attack, adjust without abandoning ship. Quick toolkit for the next setback. 1 sentence name: this is a setback. Normal. 5-minute pause ritual: walk, breath, water. 3 question reset. Minimum viable restart. Point 1 hidden win to note. The more you practice this cycle, the less setbacks derail you. They become shorter, less emotional, and more like speed bumps than walls. You build proof that you can handle curves, which makes future challenges feel smaller. In the next chapter, we will pull everything together. How to make this entire problem-solving approach your default way of thinking so you face life's ups and downs with steady confidence. For now, think of the last time something did not go as planned. Replay it briefly. Try naming it neutrally. Ask the 3 questions. Decide one tiny adjustment or restart. Do it soon, even if small. Chapter 10. Building your problem-solving habit, making this your new normal. Dreams don't die because they're too big. They die because we keep hitting the same small walls and then stop. The real secret of people who actually reach their goals is not that they never have problems. It's that they got good at solving little problems every day, so calmly and naturally that it just became who they are. This chapter is about turning problem-solving into your new normal habit. Not big dramatic fixes. Just small, steady I can figure this out moments. 1. Change one sentence in your head. When something goes wrong, most of us say, "Why does this always happen to me?" Or "I'm so bad at this." Try changing it to one calm sentence instead. "Okay, this is here now. How can I move forward anyway?" That's it. Just that one sentence, said quietly to yourself, starts the problem-solving brain instead of the complaining brain. Say it out loud if you can. It feels silly at first. Then it starts feeling normal. 2. Use the 3-question fix, 30 seconds. Whenever you feel stuck, ask yourself these 3 easy questions. What exactly is the problem? One short sentence. What is one tiny thing I can do right now or today? When will I do it? Say a real time, at 7 p.m. or right after lunch. Example, problem. I haven't exercised in 2 weeks. I stopped moving my body and now I feel heavy and guilty. One tiny thing equals put my shoes next to the door and walk for 10 minutes. I'll do it at 6:30 p.m. after I finish work. Write the answers on your phone or a sticky note. Most problems get smaller the second you answer those 3 questions. 3. Collect your "I've solved this before" moments. Every time you fix something, even something small, notice it. You sent the email you were scared of. I solved the fear email. You got up even though you felt tired. I solved the morning slump. You said no to extra work to protect your goal time. I solved the oversaying yes problem. Keep a short list somewhere, notes app, back of your journal, phone memo called "I handled it." When a new problem comes, look at your list and remember, I've already solved hard things before. This is just another one. That list becomes your quiet confidence. 4. Make pause and plan your new reflex. Old habit. Feel stuck, scroll phone, feel worse, give up. New habit. Feel stuck, pause for 60 seconds, make a tiny plan. You can train this like a muscle. When you feel frustrated, put your hand on your chest or your leg, take 2 slow breaths, say pause in your mind. Then ask, what's one small next step? After a few weeks, your body starts doing this automatically. You don't have to think so hard anymore. 5. Be nice to yourself when you don't solve it perfectly. Some days you won't fix the problem. Some days you'll make it worse. That's normal. On those days, say something kind instead of mean. I didn't handle it great today, and that's okay. Tomorrow is still there. I'm still learning. Being kind after a bad moment makes it easier to try again tomorrow. Being hard on yourself makes you want to quit. 6. Celebrate the habit, not just the result. Every time you pause instead of panic, ask the 3 questions. Do one small action, even though you felt stuck. Add something to your "I handled it" list. Give yourself a tiny celebration. A quick nice. A little smile. A fist bump to yourself. A good job. Me in your head. Celebrate the problem-solving muscle growing, not only when you win big. The new normal looks like this. You wake up. Something feels hard or off. You don't run away from it. You don't fight it. You just say, okay, this is here. What's my small next move? You do that again and again. After many small moves, one day you look back and realize, I used to freeze when things went wrong. Now I just start solving. That's when problem-solving stops being work and becomes who you are. You're not chasing perfect days anymore. You're just someone who keeps gently moving forward, no matter what. That's the goal. Get away. Keep practicing. Keep pausing. Keep asking the small questions. Keep being kind to yourself. You're building something very strong. A mind that trusts itself to figure things out. And that is one of the most powerful things you can ever own. Now go face your next tiny problem, with the calm sentence already in your pocket. Okay, how can I move forward anyway? You've got this.